why? I know you said you're interested in the history of Islam, but why specifically? Like, what are you trying to get out of it? I'm interested.
Just the great minds that are available at the time that I think have been forgotten. So the science, the advances in medicine, things that came out of this era that people aren't necessarily aware of. And then Muslims can also be aware of these things. That there were a time where Islam had communities of pure knowledge. Because again, in Pakistan, I think that's being sort of forgotten about. Have you got something you're hiding there?
Yeah, oh yeah, you said that. I suspect that you are interested. Tell me if I'm wrong about this. Okay, this is a guess. Okay, don't get offended if I, by the suggestion of it. Okay, I suspect that there is an identity crisis among Muslims because of the way the Muslim world and Muslims are seen as backward, as their ways being inferior to the Western way. Okay, and this motivates some Muslims to go look back into the history to find Muslims and times where Muslim communities were ahead of everybody else as a way to rebuild that Muslim identity, to strengthen it. What do you think? Is that correct or wrong?
Yeah, or better understand. I wouldn't say you're far off, but yeah, I absolutely think that it's something that yes, there is a perception that it's all backwards and it's not progressive. But from what I've seen, some of the things like the water stations, gears, there are so many things that I saw briefly that were really advanced for the time, and philosophers as well, and great thinkers. So yeah, these are things that I would like to uh, revisit and let people know about also, that there was this golden age, and so we should bring those. And again, these communities were talking to each other. There were discussions amongst different people. So I think that's something positive. So yeah, I wouldn't disagree with your statement at all.
Okay, so I mean, I don't want to take that away from you, but my view is that the okay. So a lot of people who are against Islam, if they deny that that was a better, like an amazing time, like Muslims were very much at that time at the forefront of philosophy, art, and science, and they were ahead of almost all the world, like all the well, I mean, if you think about Middle East and Europe, Baghdad was ahead of everybody else. Like the only way you could like compare it to somebody else that might have been as ahead was if you go all the way to China. Okay, but ignoring China, uh, Muslims were ahead of everybody else at that time. Okay, and Baghdad was the heart, the center of art and science and philosophy, and for a time also the Spain was Muslim controlled. Spain was as well, right? Um, However, the issue is that this had nothing to do with Islam. This had more to do with wealth. Um, just like in Europe, when the Renaissance happened and Europe became the source of art, philosophy, and science, it had nothing to do with Christianity. It had more to do with European countries becoming filthy rich. And when you become filthy rich, you start investing in art, science, and philosophy. And the Arab and Persian empires also, when they started becoming filthy rich, they naturally started investing in art and science and philosophy. It wasn't anything to do, it wasn't because of Islam that they did that. So Islam doesn't get any credit for it. It's just they just happen to be Muslim. Do you know what I mean?
Well, thanks for the end of the movie spoiler. So, well, thanks. No, oh well, I just won't bother now. I had an aspiration that it had something to do with Islam, but thank you for eloquently bursting the
What?
bubble. And
Well, no, I didn't burst a bubble because I am an anti-Islam activist. So you shouldn't trust me, right? Maybe like I could be wrong about this. I am obviously a biased judge, right? You could like you could like maybe once you investigate it, you're like, no, Armin is wrong. I can see the direct influence of Islam here, right? So this is not bursting of the bubble. Maybe you go investigate and then you come and prove me wrong.
Can we highlight Susanna's comment?
Yeah. Well, Susanna's like, I knew that Armin was about to shit on his dreams. Well, Susanna is also saying it's nice to have friendly Muslim back. I like him. Susanna likes
Oh,
you having him.
thank you.
Yeah.
Quite a fan of yours too.
If you'd like to send me your questions for me to answer during our Q&As, become a patron. If you would like to have a discussion with me live on air at the end of the Q&As, become a YouTube member. Link to both is in the description. Thank you for your support.